Good morning. Welcome to Hometown Heroes. Mary Staffield, my co-host, and I have a special guest. He's a friend and a great patriot and a great motivator for many people. Keith the Smurf Murphy, and Keith and I met several years ago at Adaptive Training Foundation over in Carrollton, and our paths cross several times a year at different events. But Keith's a native of Dallas and Army veteran. So the first time we sat down and talked was over a sandwich at the back of ATF, and I learned more about shooting mortars than I could have learned since I'd been in the Army because Keith was a mortar man. And I think Keith just kind of disappeared for a second, but
He'll be back.
he'll be back.
You can't keep Keith down.
But Keith
That
is
guy, man,
he's
an
amazing, isn't
attitude
he?
like you can't believe. Yes. I mean, just everybody should have his attitude. He's so amazing.
And he's going to tell us a little bit about his Army time, and then he had a catastrophic accident that changed his life. You there? Okay, we lost you for a minute, Keith.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that's why I
There
didn't
he
Where did you go? But you're a native of Dallas, and where'd you go to high school?
I went to Franklin Delano Roosevelt High School in Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
and I was a senior of 1985.
Did you play any sports then?
And shortly, no, I was the ROTC, and I was the statistics guy for the basketball team. I kept up with all the numbers and the rebounds and the fast breaks and all that different stuff that tallies up with the basketball. I was a numbers guy.
So you were at
So
ROTC, and then you joined the Army right after high school. When did you join the Army?
yeah, I joined the Army straight out of high school. I was waiting for my graduation, and then that was about the time the epidemic hit Texas really, really hard, man.
Uh
And
huh.
at the winter break, I had enough credits to go ahead and graduate, man. And school wasn't looking too good, man. And I found out that we wasn't going to get a yearbook for that year, man. And I just had enough, man. I went on over to the recruiter's office and told him I'm ready to go. And that was in December, and he got me out of there in February, and I was gone. But after the Christmas break, I never went back to school again. And for the graduation, my mother went and accepted my high school diploma because I was at Fort Benning, Georgia, graduating the OSET Infantry Training School about the same time. I graduated on the 31st of May, and so did they. And
Ah,
came
that's
home.
pretty cool.
I think I stayed home maybe 15 or 20 days. I got home and visited with everybody and started getting ready to say my goodbyes because I had wanted to deploy to Korea, and I had them guarantee it to me in writing and guaranteed me a bonus as well. So I took the money and ran. I got overseas, man, and a lot of good active duty, man. Met a lot of good, great guys, man, that trained me up well. And by the time I made it back to the States, I had already made corporal, and I was, you know, wasn't had they had what time in grade and time in service. I had enough time in grade, but I didn't have enough time in service because I was just a youngster, man. But I was on fire, and they,
Yeah.
yeah, they gave a waiver, and they let me go to ANOC, which is basic non-commissioned officer school and the advanced course of non-commissioned officer school. After I got ANOC and BNOC under my belt, I went before the promotion board. Boom, I was promoted to E5
Man.
sergeant. Then I was a section sergeant. Had a bunch of men under my belt and stuff. It was all good, man. And then for the first time ever, the Army was going to implement a new program. They were going to implement females into an infantry post. And back then it was like it was a 64 Charlie, which was a truck driver's nomenclature, but they changed it over to an 88 Mike, and they brought all these girls in. Well, one day we were on a field training exercise, man, and we were in a hot LZ waiting on deployment and movement, man, and waiting, and here they come. I look out the binoculars, man, and I see the prettiest girl I hadn't seen in a long time, man, coming down the road, this big truck that's supposed to pick us up. And I'm like, all right, get the track in position, because we were running those the 107 guns, and they were track mounted. So it's kind of like an APC that had a big fat gun in the back of it that we would lift up and tilt and lock the tracks, and you could fire this thing. But we were loading them on their trucks because at the time Ronald Reagan was the president, and we had a little problem with our defense spending. Money was kind of short. So instead of driving tanks slowly and using tank fuel that was more expensive than the diesel fuel for the diesel trucks, we decided to load the trucks, load the tanks on the trucks, get to the position faster, and it was cheaper. So it was economically sound, and it was just logistically sound, because we trying to get into a fighting position. It would usually take us maybe an hour to 4 hours to drive there in these tanks rolling about 8 to 10 miles an hour over terrain. But when we load up on these trucks, they'll have us there in 30 minutes. We'll offload and we'll be in position in 45. So it was just real good. And when I met her, it's just, you know, she was real shy. She didn't want to talk to me, but I got her to tell me what her name and her phone number was. And that was all I needed, man. And after training over, I made it my business to find out where she was, but we had a little hard time hooking up at first, because by the time I got back to Fort Polk, she was in West Virginia. And then by the time she got back to Fort Polk, I was in California. And then I met her at the Railheads in California, and we got to talk and spend a little time then. But it wasn't until I got back from Fort Irwin, I was on Fort Polk, and she was in Virginia somewhere on her way back, and she needed a ride from Hobby Airport in Houston. And I was like, I'll drive over there to get you. And I had the good long ride back with her, and we've been together ever since. And we're going on 35 years. Yeah, 35 years.
That's a good story. Yeah, Mary and I also have spouses that are veterans. So my wife was in the Army, and Mary's husband was in the Air Force. So
okay,
we don't have that spousal veteran deal.
We all stayed within our branches. We didn't go outside. So Air Force, Army, Army.
Kept it pure.
Yeah.
So you moved back to Dallas after you got out of the Army. You moved back home?
Back here in Dallas, and started working, and my wife became a homemaker, and we had our first 2 children, like second year in, and then 4th year in had another kid. So she was just a homemaker, and I worked. And at this particular time, I hadn't got into corporate America workforce yet. I was still my own entrepreneur, because, you know, I learned so much in the military that I wasn't ready to join the civilian workforce. I didn't quite understand them, and they didn't quite understand me. So I worked on my own from 89 till 2001. Like, after basically when the attacks happened, my business didn't just fall off, slam the door, and it was over with, but it started tapering and going downhill. And not only that, we had an influx of people coming into the country that was just cheap labor. You cannot outwork 8 guys jumping out of a van. Yeah, I mean, they're going to have it done in 10 minutes. They're going to do it cheaper than you. There's no way. The American way is capitalism. Somebody's not going to pay more for the same thing. I wouldn't. Yeah. I would hire guys. So, you know, my business started to fall off.
Because that same thing happened to my husband. He was a framer, and from the late 90s through the early 2000s.
Yes, ma'am.
And he couldn't beat the guys that were bringing in, you know, cheap labor and outbidding him. He couldn't do it. So that's when he joined the Air Force.
Yep. That's, I mean, man, like I said, they come in a gang, man. They're in a van, you know. I had a crew. It was me and 3 other guys. We would work, man, but a crew ain't a gang, man. They show up, it's 8, 9 deep in a van. They get out, man, and I don't care if we was cabinets or framing or cutting yards or whatever it was. they could do it faster and they did it cheaper. No
Yep.
one's going to pay more for slow. They just not go do it. And then you start trying to get into the quality of it. And it's like, well, you really can't knock their quality because there's so many of them here that they can't help but get it right. You know what I mean? And I just started looking into corporate America. I got into insurance for a little while. I worked for Prudential, and just corporate America just wasn't for me. So I went to a warehouse, got a job, started loading trucks, and I was always dependable and on time and stuff. And they recruited me to drive for them, man. So I started driving for them, man, and made a good long career out of that. And I was driving the day I got hit. So, and my company, I had left the major freight lines and went to work for a private company because private companies take a lot better care of their employees because they're able to. It's just certain things that big companies can't do because they're the size that they are. They have too many employees to try to treat everybody special. But when you go for work for a small company, they treat you like family. And I have been working for these people for 10 years when this accident happened. And, you know, I'm laid up in a coma, not knowing what my family go do. You know, you're worried about it, but you can't worry about it because your brain is asleep. But, you know, that was the first thing when they got ready to put me in the ambulance. First thing I was concerned about it is I had my handgun on my side and I didn't want to take a handgun to the hospital. So
You might get a ticket.
you know, that's a felony, man. I think, you know, so I called him. I say, police had on the scene. And he said, he over there trying to get her information. I said, tell him to come here, man. I got this gun, man. I can't take this gun to the hospital. I said, man, what's your name? My name Keith Murphy. Here my gun license. Here my gun, man. Take my gun for me. Take my gun. So the officer took my gun and he put his name on a card and put it in my zip-up pocket and zipped it up. And they was like, all right, we put you in the ambulance now. And they was like, how you feeling? I said, man, my back feel kind of funny. Not knowing that my back was broke, my neck was broke. And, you know, this adrenaline is what you're running on, pure adrenaline for you to even have the conscience of mind to ask for an officer. Well, so I gave him that. I went to the hospital and stuff. When I woke up out the coma and I was paralyzed and I couldn't do nothing and couldn't move, the people from my life had racked out. The floor I was on, the floor above me, and the floor under me were all packed to the gills. There was no room in the hospital for standing or sitting. Everybody wanted to know what my situation was, and you might as well say the entire community from my job there. The whole church congregation was there. You know, I'm a motorcycle rider. I got a bike family. The whole bike family was there. And then, you know, I'm big in alumni with my school. All my school folks was there. I mean, this place was just packed out. And my job came to my wife and told them, don't you worry about nothing. His checks will not stop. We don't care how long it's.
When did the accident happen?
From the time that I got hit in August until January of the next year.
Wow. When did the accident happen, Keith?
It was August 28th of 2018.
So that's not very long ago. And you were on your motorcycle.
Uh-huh.
And do you remember when the accident happened? I mean,
yes.
You were conscious until you got to the hospital?
Yeah, I was conscious until they gave me some kind of shot in the ambulance on the way to the hospital because you say, man, your leg look kind of funny and you say your back hurt. I'm going to give you something to make you comfortable. And when I closed my eyes, I went into a darkness and I did not see or hear anything else until I opened my eyes in the hospital with a ventilator in my mouth, something breathing for me, man. And my family all around the thing, and you're really dazed and confused when you're coming out from under this, whatever they gave you to put you under, man. But, oh, man.
And that was 8 days that you were like that? Was it 8 days?
8 days, yeah. And when I woke up, I was in excruciating pain and I could not move. Couldn't go to the bathroom for myself, couldn't eat for myself. I was just laying there, man, like a lump of meat on a slab, man. Couldn't do nothing. And I want to say maybe the 3rd or 4th day after being awake was the darkest time that I've had because that was the God, why? conversation that I had.
Whenever you woke up, you realized that you couldn't move. You were paralyzed from about the chest down, or
Yeah, like right up underneath my chest, all the way down. No,
and
nothing.
when did you find out that your leg was no longer attached to you? Did they tell you that, or did you just know that?
Well, the bed looked funny, so I kind of knew it. I mean, like really flat on that side, and I mean, like all the way down flat, So, and I was like, I couldn't move, so I asked a buddy of mine, and the tears in his eyes let me know everything. So that was just another deep breath moment right there, Your leg gone, ain't nothing I can do about it. It ain't gonna grow back. I mean, that was my first acceptance right there that, this is a bad situation. I'm hurt. I can't move, but I'm still alive. I'm still alive. And I know this is real early. I know there's gonna come a time where I'll look back on this and I'll laugh. But right now, I don't see nothing funny. I'm hurt. I'm sad. I'm confused. I had so many emotions that I went through, man. It was a roller coaster, up and down, man, up and down, up and down. Until I started to get the feelings back in my hands where I could open and close my hands and like pick up a cup or set something down or push a button on the control. Because when I was so bad off there, they positioned me immediately direct eye line of sight with the nurse's station. I didn't have to push a button. All I had to do was call out or ask for something, and they were there on the spot. And oh man, it was some dark days. But the thing, after I was in the hospital a couple months, and I was able to sit up and slide off the bed onto a wheelchair. I wasn't strong enough to roll a wheelchair yet, but I was able to sit up. I could put on my shirt. I couldn't put on my pants yet. Shirt. So they figured it was time for me to start trying to go to rehab. So they were going to move me out of the hospital and move me over to the rehab facility, which, if you know Baylor, Dallas, they got this big Johnson complex with a few wings and stuff on it. And then underneath in the basement, you go down and go across the street underneath and come back up in another building, and that's the rehab facility. And I had a bad attitude when I got there. I didn't want to be in rehab. I was mad because my leg was gone. And you know why this happened to me? And I was up on the 4th floor, and I think rehab was on 2. So I got up and got in my chair, man, and got dressed and go down in this stinking rehab. I don't want to go down here. But when that door opened on number 2 and I rolled out, my whole attitude, my mind, and everything changed about everything. Because I seen people sitting there with all their limbs, but yet they couldn't move. They were blowing in a straw to move. And it's just, I know you didn't dress yourself, but I dressed myself. My perspective and my situational awareness about who and what I was brought vividly into focus coming off of that elevator. So no more pity parties, no more I can't do this or I can't do that. It was a complete 180 of I can do anything because I saw what I saw, and you can't take it back. You can't. Very fortunate and blessed to have the function that I do have, even though it's not full function. It's functional enough for you to do whatever that you want to do. And functionality is going to come back down to how many parts you got. It's going to come down to what do you want to do with the parts that you have, period.
And your amputation is just below your hip. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, got 1-inch femur.
Okay. So imagine a quarter. My femur is the length of the width of a quarter. 1 inch. But they did a really nice job. They sewed it all up. I mean,
It's short as chickens, but it's smooth. It ain't got no, no residual thing. I ain't got none of those problems with it. And they did a fantastic job on it. And it was either take the leg or take your life. Them the two choices that you got. Like we was talking the other day, Rick, when I say any situation that we encounter in life, we ain't gonna give it two choices.
Right.
And it's going to basically boil down to a positive or a negative. Although it might be dressed as a left or a right or up or down or back or forward, it's still going to boil down to a positive or a negative. And if you choose to take the negative, like we said at the top of the conversation, that's a man in the mirror issue. Can't nobody fix that. Can't nobody fix that but man or woman in the mirror. That's the only person that can fix that. And once
you're the one that's responsible. You're responsible for everything. No matter
this is
how.
why I love this man so much. Oh my goodness, the attitude. It's so amazing. I just love it.
And no matter how much somebody else wants something for you, it's up to you to do it. It's not up to your friends, your wife, or anybody to have that attitude. And now you go
unless you quit.
And now you go to hospitals and you just roll in there and start talking to people that are in similar situations.
Yeah, because some people wake up from surgery and their leg or their arm is gone, man. They are really sad and hurt by it, man. And I can understand and sympathize with them. But in the same breath, I don't want to have sympathy for them. I want to show them what you can do. Mm-hmm. I mean, your life ain't over because you lose a limb, because you are still alive, and alive means life. If you were dead, we wouldn't call it alive. You would be dead. So it wouldn't be no life. No? If you're alive, you got life. And it's up to you. Yeah, it's up to you to write the story how you want it. No one else can do it for you. It's up to you. Because like I said the other day, we was out there shooting and having a good time. That was choice A. Choice B could have been be at home mad because your leg gone and sit at home and cry and why always me. Anything that you can think of to have a pity party.
Isn't that the truth?
That's your B selection. And if you select B, that's on you. That's on you.
Sometime during your recovery, you were approached or met somebody from Adaptive Training Foundation. Is that when you made that connection?
Yeah, my daughter was having lunch in the hospital cafeteria, and ATF had a flyer there or a track or whatever you want to call it. She brought it back to the room, and at this point in my recovery, I'm still laying flat on my back and ain't got much movement at all. So she's got this iPad thing in my face, and she's scrolling and showing me all this stuff. And I started clicking on the videos, and I clicked on a video and ran across Brian Aff. When I tell you there was another epiphany mode, like stepping off that elevator, man, this dude was killing it. I'm killing it. It didn't have no legs, no legs.
And he is one stout guy, I swear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I say, man, if this guy can kill it like that, I got him beat. I got one leg. At least, come on, get in the game. I got one. So you get around people like that, man, and it's just like I couldn't wait to go to that place. When I rolled into ATF, I couldn't even roll my own wheelchair, lift my hands in front of me or above my head. But they had a program for me. And this is where the divine intervention come in. I came in on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. The last day closing to sign up for the class was going to be this coming Friday, and it had to be a veteran. Man, I went and got my DD 214, got all my paperwork filled out, gave it to Hunter. He fast-tracked everything. checked all my references and stuff. Everything was good. Found out I really am a guy that served. And man, they put me in the program, and I never looked back. And while I was in the program, they turned me on to so many different organizations, and you know, they were doing so much filming and stuff and social media. They really kind of got me into social media too, because I wasn't big on social media until after I got hurt. And all these pictures out there and these videos and stuff. The coach for the Paralympic bobsled team saw me and said that she wanted to talk to me. And I went to New York and tried out for the bobsled team, and I made the team. Now we're going for the Olympics 2022. So it's just like, if you'd have chose B and stayed at home and be mad about your leg, you never would have went to the gym. You never would have got cooking. You never would have got. You never would have got seen. You know, it just, man. I feel like it's a blessing that you give to yourself when you don't choose B. If you always choose A and look for the positive in anything, I mean, it's like when I first, people like, man, you in a wheelchair, and I was like, I always got a seat. I mean, look for the positive. Yeah. To be honest, man, I done been on both sides of the stick. Walking is overrated, man.
But you found out real quick at ATF, Adaptive Training Foundation, that there ain't no place there for a pity party.
No, we got a square of the gym. If you want a pity party, you go stand in that square right there, and somebody will come party with you when they got time. But you go be lonely, because the square is only like probably 2 square feet. Now you can't get very many people in that party, man.
That's one of the every time I go over there, it's just, I mean, you go in there and it's just inspiration everywhere to see those people that are overcoming a lot of things. And if you really want to go see what great shape they're in, they have it's called the Sweatiest Hour, and you go work out with the athletes there at ATF, and then people that are whole, with, you know, that have their arms and legs and aren't paralyzed, they can't keep up with you.
Yeah, we make able-bodied people look bad sometimes. Yeah, we don't try to.
But that's a great organization. But whenever you were right after your accident and you were laying in bed, you never in your wildest dreams imagined that you'd be the athlete you are today. Because you do a little bit of everything. I mean,
no, never ever. I mean,
you ride a bike. And
I'm a marathonist. I'm a triathlonist. I got a triathlon coming up this weekend in Little Elm. We'll be out there the 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
And in that triathlon, you're going to swim, and then you're going to bike ride, and then you're gonna run, or you've got a special kind of wheelchair that you run in, or
yeah, I got a special runner is what they call it, and everybody call it a push rim. And what you do is you sit in it, and it's got a single solitary wheel out in front of it that's fixed and stationary, but it has a little handlebar on it to where, like, when you're running, and if you want to turn, you can turn where you want to turn and let the steering wheel go, and it'll straighten back out for you and keep it on the stationary run where you can keep running.
Okay. I've got a picture posted here. I don't know if you can see it on your phone or not, but was that your bike ride to Colorado?
Yes, sir. We went to Colorado. We rode from Red Oak, Texas to Colorado Springs, Colorado. It took us 22 days, and we averaged about 50 to 60 miles a day, and it was 1 or 2 days in there, and we got tired, and we didn't ride that far. I think we rode 25 or 35 miles, and that was an off day for us.
An off day.
Yeah, off day, about 35 miles, man. And it's like basically warming up, because usually once we get out there on the road, man, we won't stop for 25 miles, man, minimum. I mean, that's before we take a break, we're at 25.
And you are kind of working on plans to go across the country, aren't you?
Yeah, we were talking about the gym yesterday. I'm talking about Idaho. It's very beautiful, man, but it's gonna have some steep climbs, man. Just like some of the climbs that we climbed in New Mexico. Say, for instance, you go from 1,600 feet up to 7,100 feet, going straight uphill, and then fall back down on the other side. And it is really a fall because my bicycle was at 55 miles an hour dropping off some of these hilltops, man.
That's quick.
Oh, man, just, man, I tell you, flying. The beauty that we see, man, and deer and dove following us everywhere. I told Edwin, man, there ain't nothing but God following us, man. Deer just don't come up to you and follow you like these, man. These deer have followed us all the way across the country, man. And I was out on the golf course and it was a deer, and we had the day before yesterday out there. I mean, I like the fact that God has made me peaceful enough that wild animals will come up to me. Yeah. I like
they see the kindred spirit, maybe, huh?
You know, Keith, that's one of the other things that I really love about you is you are not afraid to share how strong you believe. And that is so refreshing.
Yeah, man. God said that if you don't tell your friends about me, I ain't gonna tell my daddy about you. It don't say that in exact words, but it's Matthew 10:33. And I can look it up and tell you exactly what it say. But I know in my mind it say that if you don't tell your friends about me, I ain't gonna tell my daddy about you. And that's the bottom line, period. You don't have to read it and know it word for word. Just know that if you don't talk about me, I ain't gonna talk about you. It's just like third grade recess on the playground. You know how children are. If you don't do it, I do.
You know, along your journey, you've ran into some incredible people that really pour their hearts out to help people. Yes. And Susan Allen is one of those people. I mean,
she is, man. The work that she does, man, with that firefighter thing, man, that climb for a calling, man, that just touches my heart. And I try to make it over there every year that they have it, man.
And that was another thing. She's really involved with ATF.
Yeah, she is. Her and Clint too, from Mr. Fix-It. They really pour a lot of time and their talents into that place, man. And you can't be thankful for somebody like that enough, man. And people that light up to live, like Angela Enright and Maureen Ellis and Sheena, man. I mean, and Christella and Kimla. I mean, these people who go above and beyond, man. I mean, it's when you are out there on DMZ, you're not thinking about that, what you are going to get when you come back. You're just thinking about protecting what you love, the American people, the American way. But when you get home and you really find out what you was fighting for, and these people show you what you was fighting for, it'll make you cry, man, because you're so happy, man. That's the main thing that we really got going on with our country right now. We don't care about each other like we used to. A lot of things that are looked at as special, that just used to be normal when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So 50 years passed by and things and changed a little bit. People don't care about each other as much as they used to. And a lot of the children now think that you owe them something. They have lost pride. They don't know what pride is. You know, we get them in these little leagues and they don't want to take score and everybody's going to get a trophy. You're stripping away a man's dignity with everybody getting a trophy. Because when he's 10 years old and everybody's not getting a trophy, he wants to know why and he feels some type of way. That's because you took the dignity and the pride away from him when he was 5 years old in Little League. Now he doesn't understand. The next thing is get mad, turn 18, go to a gun shop, buy a gun, and just kill everybody. You know, man.
Yeah. I think you need to run for office, Keith.
Yeah. Man, they won't put me up there. They won't put me up in there because he's going to tell the truth. I hurt a whole lot of people's feelings with the truth. And people going to be losing their jobs. Not doing the right job. I got to fire you, man.
But
I've got a picture.
the truth will set you free, and that's what
It-
we
it
got
say
to know.
so.
We got to tell the truth.
You gotta tell the truth. The truth is so
Man.
easy and simplistic, man. You ain't never got to try to remember nothing. That's why you can ask me about something when I was 4 years old. I can tell you because not gonna change.
And we've got a picture up here, and I think this is whenever you get your light therapy system from Light Up to Live.
No, that was the Easy Light Cruiser that they bought me so I could
Oh,
keep
was that it? Okay. Because
going.
they gave you a light system, and then they gave you this
Mhm.
special
That
wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Sheena. Sheena does a tremendous job of putting together benefits, clay shoots, golf tournaments, and she is so involved with helping people.
Man, I tell you, she really is, man. She goes above and beyond, and everything is always front row. She never
It
has
is.
to. This front row, man. And Light Up to Live, man, they really have been taking care of me because, I'm a scuba diver too, man. And there was a trip that came up in Key Largo that I couldn't afford to go on, man. Randall Reed came out of his pocket, man, and made sure that the board members, anybody wanted to contribute, they gave me money and sent me and my wife down there for a couple weeks, man. And for new veterans to sit back in the Florida Keys and relax, man, it's just, like I said, I never signed up to go fight expecting a reward. But man, now that I done came home and it's here, I am so thankful for it, man. And I never was looking for it. It just happened.
And it's people like this man right here in the picture, Randall Reed.
Yes.
Amazing,
I
man.
meet a lot of people that are involved in foundations or the founders of foundations. And Randall is one of those special people that has such a passion for helping people. And, he's a busy guy, but he just pours out love and passion, is there to help veterans. And,
Yes, he does.
I just got to give a shout out to Randall and to his organization, Light Up to Live. But, I just want to give them a plug here because he's got the world-class automotive group. And, that's an automotive group, one of the largest in the country. And they do a great job at taking care of our veterans. And I'm running their website here. Just go there and kind of look at the dealerships, Planet Lincoln, and the one that Sheena works for over there in Garland. And they've got dealerships in Spring. And whenever they do the Light Up to Live, we have a donors dinner, we have a clay shoot, we have a golf tournament, all in 3 days. And then they use that to fund Light Up to Live, to give the light therapy system to people, to veterans. And then they also help with training dogs and for some other organizations they help. So just give them a visit there. But
They've helped roll call. They've supported us with a donation, and every $10 in the roll call feeding a veteran, and Randall has been just really gracious. He just amazing. These are amazing people.
And the whole organization, all the people that work for him in the dealerships and even the Light Up to Live Foundation, they are just such incredible people that have such a passion to help people.
They really do. Go above and beyond.
Whenever we talk about helping people and inspiring people, you go to the hospital and you roll in there to go see other people that have lost limbs or paralyzed and inspire them. But, you inspire everybody. And my brother, he's had a lot of health issues and surgeries and things and been in a lot of pain. And he does a lot of work with Brothers Keepers. And they have a lot of amputees, paraplegics, quadriplegics that they help. And he says, what keeps me going is to see these guys that have lost limbs, that have suffered catastrophic things like you have, but to see their attitude and see how they cope with things much worse than I do. And even though, you know, we may be whole and not have lost a limb or be paralyzed, you inspire us. So, you know, it's not just going to help inspire people that have lost limbs or paralyzed, but, you know, just by your attitude, and it's contagious. And whenever I'm around people, because a lot of times the adaptive training folks are all out there together, and they inspire everybody to see them come out there to a clay shoot or a golf tournament, or to go to ATF and see, you know, how y'all train and work out. So we just really honor you, Keith, and thank you for that inspiration that you give us.
Man, I'm just having fun, man. Because like I said, if you choose the B side, you ain't gonna have no fun, man. It's like, I was just thinking about what you just said. I couldn't have got the Super Bowl wheelchair thing if you sitting at home sad about not having a leg. I mean, right. We were on Channel 5 News the other night, man, for, you know, winning the tournament against the Buffalo Bills wheelchair team, and now we qualify for the Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl in February, they're gonna have a wheelchair Super Bowl. And you know, that's all us. You ain't gonna get that sitting at home being mad and feeling sorry. It ain't gonna grow back. I'm in 5 years. It ain't gonna go back, man. So that's right. It ain't for me. What you gonna do? There is no way I would sit and make the choice of being sad, depressed, and man, that make your face look ugly. I like smiling. Smooth, pretty skin.
Well, you know, I take your picture a lot, and I tell you, I have to do a lot of Photoshop work just to make it look as good as I can, and it's still a pretty ugly mug.
But you know, Keith, life is about choices, right? Every single day we make hundreds and hundreds of choices. But you know what you can't choose? You can't choose the consequences. So I always tell people, choose wisely. Think about it and make wise choices. You know, and you've done that, and you know, you got thrown a curveball, and you said, okay, well, how do I hit this curveball out of the ballpark? And that's what you've done, and your attitude is so amazing and so contagious that anybody that's facing adversity needs to just spend 5 minutes with you, and I think you'll fix them right up.
Yeah, and you know what? When life throws you a curveball, bunt and run like hell, because that's still a hit.
That's right.
And the base hits win the game.
Yeah, that's still a hit, man. Yes, indeed. I mean, that's my motto. My motto is never quit, no matter what. That is, I live by that. And I won't quit. It's like, but you failed. No, that was a learning curve. I meant to do that. You'll see when I come back. Yeah, that was a learning curve. But
because we learn even in our failures.
Yeah. If you really look at it simply as I look at it, it's mathematically impossible for you to fail as long as you attempt. Yep. If you make an attempt, you can't fail.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm winning.
You go to the Adaptive Training Foundation and work out there. I saw our friend Randy Nance the other day, and you work out with Randy and some other people there, and you go inspire. I think it's what class are they having now?
I think this is 28,
and they're getting ready to graduate pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, I think they're in week 7 now. And I was fortunate enough, I talked to Steve while we were out there at the clay shoot and the golf tournament, and he was telling me he wanted to get a workout in. I got him to come out and work out with me yesterday. We put in about 3 hours.
Steve the bagpiper.
sir. Yes, sir. Got him on out there, man.
He had
He enjoyed
a real bad illness just a couple of months ago, and really messed his lungs up.
Yeah, that pneumonia got into his lungs real bad and stuff. But he on the mend now, and he's coming to work out with us, so I can guarantee you he gonna be in good shape.
He'll be blowing that bagpipe pretty good then.
We'll get your lung capacity back up because we have cardio, auxiliary, and strength training that's out of this world.
Yeah, you've got the triathlon coming up this weekend. Is that correct? Okay.
The 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
And you stay pretty busy doing golf tournaments, clay shoots, riding bikes. I mean, you're out there all the time hustling.
Yeah, doing something, man. Keep that body moving because my health is my wealth. Ain't no sense in sitting around and feeling sorry for yourself and letting your health go bad. You know, just do something positive, man. You got a choice. You can sit back and do nothing, or you can do something positive. And then everybody, I'm too busy. Okay, here it is. It's either one day or day one.
I
That's
love
right.
that. I may steal that.
You have it.
See, listen, I've never had an original idea in my life. I just steal shamelessly.
Hey, man, we friends. We copyright, no copyright. Well, with others. That's a lot of people that try to make excuses, and that's what I give them. It's either day one or one day. You pick, and we back to that A or B again. I'll come back to the same.
Here's a picture I just posted. I just posted this picture, Keith, and that was at our clay shoot last week. And this is the team from ATF, and then Christella. She's a great supporter of Light Up to Live.
Yeah,
and roll call. She was at our clay shoot the other day, and
I don't know how she finds time.
I don't
swear
either.
She's everywhere all the time, and has her own nonprofit that she runs. But she's everywhere. I don't even know how she does it.
But I think she probably won the prize the other day for winning the most silent auction items. She had a whole handful of them, a truck full of stuff, and she bought one item at the auction that's so big I had to put it in my truck, so it's in my garage until I can get it over to Alan to her. So she's a real blessing, and she's got that contagious personality just like you.
Yeah, man, she is, man. I can remember the day I met Sheena, man. She was all worried and contemplating about having a surgery on her head, man. And I just sat her down and talked, man, and I was like, look, this is what you need to do. Weigh your options, and if it's going to do something positive to help you, do it. If not, then don't. It's real simple. And all that about being afraid, if you say you believe in God, act like it.
Yeah, and Sheena's a great proponent for having that surgery because she had all these concussions playing soccer and had these terrible migraine headaches and things, and found a surgeon that did a procedure that has helped her, and she has people around the country that she helps get that surgery done. So
because
she's a powerhouse.
Yeah, she's helped quite a few people that had the same condition and didn't even know that they had the condition until she started to make them aware of, this is why you feel like this is why your head hurt. Come see this doctor, have this test run. And, you know, all of them wasn't like that, but there was quite a few people that she ran across that had the same condition that she had that they didn't even know about.
That's right. That's right.
She reached out and helped a whole lot of people, man. And just like I say, so many people that just on fire, man. And if you don't want to surround yourself and be around people like that, man, again, you have selected B. That's the wrong option. You know, you get a B option, you get a B option. That over there.
Well, Keith, our time our time for our show is just about up, but we certainly want to have you back. And Freedom Mobility Foundation, we're going to have the golf tournament up at Robson Ranch on November 12th, and I'll get with you and get you a spot to play golf up there. And you can see those solo rider carts that I was telling you about.
Yeah,
And
I've heard
hopefully we'll have one of those available for you. I think we have 6 up there. And
yeah, we call them quad carts.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to being with you up there and introducing you to my friends with the Freedom Mobility Foundation. So I think you probably met some of them before at some of the events that Light Up to Live has had. So
Okay, that'll be nice, man. I really appreciate you for having me on here, man. It was an honor, man, to be here, man, and talk to you all
well,
today.
it's an
Oh,
honor
we
to
love
have
you.
you on.
Yes.
Bye.
You absolutely light up my day.
And we want to invite you to Roll Call, our monthly veterans luncheon. Have you come over there and be with us on
I've been
the
there for about the last 5 months, man, but my schedule, I ain't hit it right. And there was another thing. They had a veterans retreat I wanted to go to, and I got my application, but I didn't get it filled out. It's like, before I know it, the month that went away, and it's already time for it to go, and I ain't even done it yet. So it's like, just you just get caught up, man.
you keep a busy schedule for sure.
I do, but roll call is on my list. They are.
We
Yeah,
want
I
to have
promise you, you'll love it.
Come to the monthly luncheon, man, and hang out with the guys over at the Air Force Base or over at the church. Because believe me, I'm keeping up with it. It's just my schedule.
Well,
My
listen,
schedule.
we got a new skipper coming in November, and Captain McLean, the outgoing commander, has just been phenomenal for us and with us. And he promises me that his replacement is going to be as good as he's been to us, which means that our lunch in April hopefully will still be on base. That would be a great one for you to make sure you make. So the 4th Friday in April, block
I'ma
your
put it
calendar
on.
now.
Yeah,
so that
I'ma
you
mark
have
it now.
that set aside.
what we might do on that one at the base is just maybe they'll have a class going from ATF, and we can just have them bring a busload of the people going to ATF over there for that.
Oh, I got you.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Yeah.
But Keith, thank you for all you do, and thank you for being an inspiration to all of us. And you're certainly a good ambassador for Adaptive Training Foundation and for the Light Up to Live and for the other organizations that you participate in. So,
yeah, I try to spread the word, man, and just help folks, man, and let people know that it ain't over just because you get hurt. And, PTSD ain't for people that just went to combat. It's PTSD all around.
absolutely.
It's a situational thing. And you always go have 2 choices. The choice is, though, select the A choice and not the B. Because B stands for, that's the bad choice. You don't want that choice. You want the good choice. Yeah, man. I mean, because really, Rick, think about it, man. You can be feeling sorry for yourself, or you can be out inspired. Them
That's
the only
right.
2 choices you got. Ain't nothing in the middle. What's in the middle?
Nothing.
Air. Opportunity. That's it. That's it. So what you go do with it? You got to do
Keith,
something with it.
Keith, you're a blessing. You are a blessing. And I'm so grateful that I have gotten to know you. And I love you, my friend.
Thank you, man.
You always make my day. I'm ready to go finish my walk. I had to cut it short because we're early today. So I'm ready to go finish now.
Yeah,
Keith,
go give me a little short run so I'm not so tired when it comes for the triathlon.
well, thank you so much for being our guest, Keith. And we love you. And we just, anything that we can do to help support you, we'll be glad to do so.
Man, y'all already doing it. Y'all show me so much love, man, and y'all put me out there. You take my pictures and let everybody know that I am an inspiration. You know, it helps me out, man, just by people be knowing, man. And if somebody need help and they want to reach out, they know what my inbox is. They know who I am. They know how I can help them.
Yeah.
But if you don't open your mouth, you get fed.
That's right. But you know, people that give all the time like you do and pour it all out, they have to get filled up too. And you know, it may be a great day, but still, you're going to have some needs. You're going to have some times when you need some help, inspiration, and you know, if there's anything we can do for you, you know, we're here. We got your back.
I'm gonna tell you what really do it for me though, Rick. What energizes me, man, and keeps me going is when I help somebody I don't even know, the look that they have on their face and the happiness that they have in their heart. Bro, I mean, it just do something for me and to me, man. It's like a guy I didn't even know was on a forum where I was on a wheelchair forum, and he was complaining about how much a cover costs for cushions on the wheelchair, because you know all this stuff that they got for these wheelchairs is expensive. A cushion by itself is almost $500, and the cover for one is like almost $100. I was like, man, I'll give you a cushion extra with such and such and such. Where you at? So we hooked up, and I went and gave him the cushion. He tried to give me some money. I wouldn't take his money, and then he went on there and blasted me out. Hey, this is the kind of good you really mean, man. This is $100 cushion. He wouldn't take no money from me, man. It just made me so happy, and I'm happy right there. You got a cushion, and you didn't have to spend no money. I got rid of something that I didn't want to throw away because I'm borderline hoarder, but I knew it was good, and somebody could use it, and somebody got to use it. Yeah, I have to make myself, and I just want to save, you know.
You know, you talk about the cushion and things, and I've got two recumbent bikes, and the fella he's in a condition now where he can't use them anymore. And then I think he did some wheelchair racing. So I really don't. There's just a pile in his garage of parts and wheelchair, and these two recumbent bikes. So I'm going to send you some pictures of the things that we have, because I need to give them, you know, he wants them to go to somebody that'll use them. And I know that you have some connections, and you might be able to use them. I don't know how old they are, but he used to do a lot of racing. So
yeah, it might be depending on what kind of bike it is. I might build me a bike, because I'm thinking, you know, this trip that we're going to have, I'm thinking about building me another bike, because the bike that I took this time, yes, it was good and it made me there, took the route, but I want me some little thicker tires, and the seat cushion has definitely got to be improved.
Well, that's a long time to be sitting on your butt.
Right. Well, I mean, man, you do 1,000 miles in the seat, bro. Man. I want some air or some gel in the seat. And I was thinking about maybe 45, 50 watts of electric drive on there. So when I'm going up some of these seriously steep hills, it's not all on my back, shoulder blades, and necks. Save a little. Goes about day 18, 8 or 9. Let me see. I was probably 700 miles in. I was cupping, getting massages, electroshock therapy. I was doing everything to relieve the pain. Because the muscles.
You made it.
Oh yeah, we made it, man. But about 700 miles in, those muscles were aching. I
can imagine.
So
just a couple miles in, it'd be tough on somebody that doesn't ride. But Keith, thank you so much for being our guest today.
All right.
We look forward to seeing you at Roll Call and seeing you at the Freedom Mobility Foundation golf tournament. So
I'm gonna make it, man. I'll make sure I get it put on my calendar and get freed up there, man. Thank you so much, man.
People can find you on Facebook and Instagram. So we love you, brother, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Love y'all back, man. I appreciate it, Rick. Bye, Mary.
God bless you. Thank you for the inspiration and the smiles today, Keith.
Sure.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
What a breath of fresh air,
He
Mary.
is
That was good.
always- Man, that he's never ever any different either. And what you saw with that man is what you get, and that is who he is. And golly, he's just always so full of life and energy. And if anybody could be down on themselves, down on the hand they got dealt, it would be somebody like him. And I never see him, like you said, without a smile on his face. He's always so full of energy and life. He just makes you want to be better.
He does, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Blessing. He's a blessing.
He is. Well, we had a great clay shoot.
We did. Boy, did we get some great comments, which I think I kind of really needed that clay shoot after the week or so that we had in the last couple of weeks with the losses of 7 of our veterans. And, I went to 2 funerals last week, and it really touches you when you talk to the family and they tell you how much roll call meant to their loved ones and how it was so important that they made every lunch, and it kept them going. And, that's why we do what we do. It touches you, but it's also so important to be there to let the family know that, when you're a part of the roll call family, you're a part of the family. And so we make sure that we're there. Harmon Moody's service, we had several of our roll call folks there in attendance, and many of them were volunteers that just loved him, and just we're just so heartbroken that he's not with us anymore. But he lived a good long life, and he was a wonderful man, and he's reunited with his brother who was lost on the USS Arizona in the attack on Pearl Harbor. And for that we're grateful. But I really needed that clay shoot to see some really, really good things going on. And we don't know what the results are in terms of how many people we'll be able to feed from the proceeds of the clay shoot, but hopefully we'll know that before long. But I think it was very successful.
It was indeed. And
we're fabulous.
The losses that we've had just in the last few weeks are probably the most losses we've had from our veterans in the whole time that you and I have been coming to roll call.
Well, we lost a lot of people in 2021. And most, a lot of people think they were COVID deaths, but the reality was, I always say they died because of COVID, but they didn't die. They didn't have COVID. Most of them didn't have COVID, but it was the lack of togetherness. It was the lack of fellowship. It was being isolated. And I think that was more harmful to them than anything else. We lost a few that had COVID when they passed, but really the vast majority were not. And I think 2021 was probably the worst year, but that's the reality of the world which we live in, Rick, with roll call. Is our veterans are mostly Vietnam through World War II, and they're older folks, and they've gone through a lot and encountered a lot, especially the Vietnam guys that were in Vietnam with Agent Orange. So the reality is that that's something that we're aware of, that we know, but it's hard because you love them and they're part of your family, and then you lose them. So it compounds when it's so many at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another roll call coming up just in a few weeks, don't we?
October 27th, and I think it's almost full. So if there's anybody out there still looking to RSVP, VP. We had such a busy weekend with Harmon's service Saturday, and then Don was at an event and did the prayer and sang, and that was another great group that gave out scholarships, and it was a really neat event. And then so I got Don home at 10:30 at night on Saturday night. I got home about 11, and then I was out at the clay shoot after church on Sunday morning all day. And so busy, I haven't even had time to take a look yet at how many RSVPs are in. So if you want RSVP, I would suggest that you do it today. Tomorrow, I would guess that in the next couple of days, the RSVPs are going to be full and they'll close. And once it's full, it's, we can't have more than the number of people we're allowed to have in the building. It's, just not safe. So get on that, go to our website. Rick's got it scrolling there across the screen. Below the mission statement, you'll see the RSVP link. It is going to look a little different than it has before because we're trying out a new system that will give us some reports and allow us to check people in on a computer versus the manual way we've been doing it. So we're trying to move forward with technology, and it does mean a little growing pains for some of our folks to learn how to do the input. It still doesn't take very long, but go ahead and get that RSVP in as soon as you can. And if you have trouble, you can email us at info@roll-call.org, and either Kim or I will pull that off there and make sure we help you get registered.
Okay. This Saturday at DFW National Cemetery at 10 o'clock, they're going to have the unveiling of a statue or a memorial for blind veterans. So that's something that you can plug into. And then our friend Larry O'Neill with Classic Auto Detail and Fort Worth Memories that helped get our podcast going about 64 episodes ago. He's having his annual bike drive, and you can just go to Fort Worth Memories on Facebook and get more information about how you can donate bike for the bike drive. And I think the giveaway for the bike drive is going to be December 16th. And then October 27th, on that Friday, we have roll call. October 29th, there's a organization that I work with called Cloud Covered Streets, and they have a fundraiser where they have a mobile unit that has showers and laundry facility and everything, take out to help the homeless people. And they have a great benefit lined up. Don came there a year or two ago, and they have about 20 musicians. And this is on a Sunday at Longhorn Saloon. And it's only about $25 to get in. And there's 20 musicians, Austin Ossip, one of my friends, and Josh Weathers, one of the popular guys around, along with a lot of other people will be there. And then November 7th, Holidays and Heroes is going to have a volunteer opportunity at the Tarrant Area Food Bank to prepare the Thanksgiving meals that are going to be distributed at the base at NASJRB. We did 500 meals last year, and we're on track to do about 500 this year. And the distribution day is going to be November 14th. So those are some things to look forward to. We have the Veterans Day Parade, November 11th. Roll call is going to be involved in that. And then November 12th is the Freedom Mobility Foundation. We have our annual golf tournament, and we're going to get Keith out there to play golf. That's a great day. It's on a Sunday, and we're looking forward to that. We'll probably have a helicopter fly in, a Chinook, and then those guys, they get off with their uniforms and golf clubs, and they play golf, and then they take off at the end of the day. That's always a great day. And then the change of command, you mentioned that a while ago, November 16th, the change of command, we'll get a new skipper in NASJRB. So we just about had Captain McLean broke in. Now we got to go break in another skipper. So
yeah,
Captain McLean's been
Captain
a great
McLean says he's
supporter.
going to stay involved with roll call though in his retirement. So we look forward
Yeah,
to that.
I think we'll see him a lot more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, depending on how American Airlines lets him off work. Yeah.
and also that day, November the 16th, is the Sky Ball.
Right.
So, there's just a lot of stuff going on. And then in the midst of all that, we have the holidays. So that's a time that there's some lonely people out there. So,
yeah, and on that dedication, that's at 10 o'clock. So anybody that's looking for that on the 21st, the dedication and unveiling of the bronze Braille flag, and that's presented by Daughters of the American Revolution.
They worked real hard on that.
Yeah, Keith chapter. So they've really done that. And another thing that's on the 21st is the phase 2 groundbreaking ceremony for the National Vietnam War Memorial in Weatherford. So another thing that some folks might want to get involved in that too. So there is just anybody that's sitting home wondering what they want to, I don't have anything to do. We've just given you a whole list.
That's right. That's just the stuff we know about.
Right. Get up off the couch, be like Keith and just keep going like crazy. Just get up and start getting involved because there is no shortage of things to do. For those that are sitting home feeling like they want to do something but don't know what to do. There's a ton.
That's right.
Ways to give back to and get involved. Yep.
Hey, yesterday you weren't available, but we had our first international podcast. Had Liberty Phillips with Bridge to History on. She had all the children. She had 6 children from the United States. They were in France. It's about almost past with their bedtime. But they came on, the kids talked and told about what they enjoyed, what they'd seen. And there was a historian that gives tours over at Normandy, and he told some really good stories. I want to start trying to have him on maybe in the evening about once a month just to tell us some stories about D-Day. So
yeah, that'd be great.
But Liberty's and her group's over there with Bridge to History. And we look forward to hearing some stories from them. So a lot of stuff going on, Mary. And did you finish your test?
Not yet. I got to finish studying. After I finish my walk, I got to finish studying. And then I got a case study to do for another class and a discussion post for another class. Everything coming due all at once. So December 15th can't get here fast enough.
I know. To this afternoon, I've got one more thing to do that's been pressing because in the last 12 or 13 days, I've done 4 clay shoots, 2 golf tournaments, dinner, 5K, and a lot of other stuff I needed to do. So I'm going to take a little break.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, I always say I'm just so darn busy and I'm working so darn hard and everything else. But I got an email from the college, and I'm trying to find where I have it in here. But I actually was selected as I can't find it now. There it is. The Tarleton State University outstanding BBA human resource management student for that department.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm doing a dual bachelor's, one in human resources and one in business management. So that was kind of cool.
You're a busy person.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll be glad when December 15th gets here. I'll graduate with both bachelors.
And the other day at the clay shoot, you met my friend Shannon Wood, trustee for the Tarrant County College. Yep. And we're going to be getting together with Shannon. And I sent her some pictures last night because at their meeting, she's going to be doing a presentation and talk about the clay shoot and the roll call and veterans. And So I think she's going to be a real key at helping not only the college get more veterans in there, but helping more veterans get into college. So
Absolutely.
those little
If you
networking
know how to
things.
do it, you can go for free. I could teach you
That's
how.
right. That's right. Mary's she knows all about that.
Yep.
Mary, I'm gonna let's tell everybody
We went a
goodbye
little long.
and sign off for another episode of Hometown Heroes. We will see you next week if
Yep.
we don't have a special deal like we did with Liberty or something, but we'll see you next week on Hometown Heroes. And we had to do an early show, so some people will be seeing it pop up and think it's already over. I'll miss it, but you can see it, on Roll Call, Hometown Heroes, and my Facebook page, and then it's on YouTube too. So we'll see you next week. Mary, thanks a lot for all you do for our veterans.